I see that this generation, I feel like, what I'm saying, I'm going to put me in it. I really don't want to put me in it because I don't think I'm a part of this generation. So sorry. But I'm going to say this generation, I feel like this generation gives up too easily. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this generation, they get discouraged easily. They're easy to accept the word no. They're easy to accept rejection. That's what I feel like. And I feel like there's so much stuff going on. And when you don't have a foundation in God, it makes it difficult for you, in my opinion. But like I'm saying, I'm God-fearing. I believe in God, but I mean, other people believe in different things, spiritual, universe, whatever you believe is whatever you believe. But I feel like you have to have some type of foundation, and whatever your foundation is, I respect it. And I'm not one of those Christians that's just gonna come and push religion on you, because I don't like when people be hitting me with Bible verses and all that stuff, because I love God and all that, but when it comes to Bible verses, I don't got those Bible verses. I'm Christian, but I ain't Christian like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is that I just want to give everyone and whoever you are watching this video some encouragement. Like, you just can't give up that easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just give up like that easy. You just can't take no as an answer. Like, you have to have some type of mental toughness, right? And my toughness, I got my toughness from different things that I went through, right? I was in at different points in my life where I had no choice but to be tough. You know what I mean? I have no choice but to take things head on. I had no choice but to face things. I had no choice but to get up, because like I said, like giving up is not an option to me. It's never an option. You know what I mean? So these tips right here, I just want to go ahead and get into them, because maybe they can help you, because these are tips that help me. Number one, I have: don't avoid tough situation, take it head on. I said mistakes or consequences, you got to deal with them. So with this one, I said, do not avoid tough situations. So for example, let's say like if you're in like a tough situation, right? And there's consequences. You made the mistake. We all make mistakes, right? You just got to take it on head on. I don't care what it is. You got to take it head on, and you got to face it. Avoiding situations, avoiding things, avoiding consequences. It's just, let me use myself as an example. Okay. Let's say I'm going through something, and let's say I made a mistake, right? I made a horrible mistake, and I'm just avoiding it and not dealing with it, right? That situation is going to linger over me, and it's going to bother me until I decide to sit down, face it, and take it head on. So whatever you're going through in your life, consequences, mistakes, or anything, take it head on. It takes a real tough individual to take ownership of mistakes and face the consequences, and then after facing the consequences, being able to move forward. It takes a hell of a person to do that, okay? And that's what you're going to have to do. Number two, I said you have to see the good in all things, no matter how it looks, right? It's so easy to face a situation and you're like, damn, like, this is just bad. There's no coming back from it. Like, it's just horrible. Like, my life is just so messed up. Like, for example, like I always use me not getting my high school diploma, right? I always use that as an example, because I feel like that hunted me until I was able to get my GED, right? So in my situation, I was like, okay, like look at me, like I'm a high school dropout. I'm not a high school dropout because I finished all 4 years. I just was a Harvard credit short, right? And then I was thinking, dang, like everybody else is in college, but I can't go to college because I don't even have a diploma to show. So that way I'm able to get grants and go to college. So like, it's so easy in that situation. I'm just using that as an example to think negative, right? But what I did is that I just dissected, if that's even the correct word to use. I just kind of sat down and really observed and looked at my situation from the outside, and I looked in and I was like, look, your dad was really sick around this time. You had a lot of dysfunction, a lot of different things going on in your life, right? Your personal life was interfering with your schooling, right? So that's what I told myself. Like, what you go through in your personal life, sometimes you don't have control of that. What you're faced with, sometimes you don't have control of that. So I told myself that, right? Then I told myself, you did all you could do to try to graduate on time, but unfortunately you did not. But as long as you can sit back and say, look, I stayed up all hours of the night. I tried to catch up on all the homework I had. I tried to make up for the days because I missed so many days of school. So like, even looking back and be like, look, you tried, right? So then what I also came up with my situation, using my situation as an example, I'm like, look, it's not too late. you still have breath in your body to go ahead and get that GED, right? So even though in the very beginning I was thinking about all the negative things when it came to my situation, I was able to go back and find the good. And that little bit of good that I found was just enough to help me get the confidence, and just enough to help me switch my mindset around and go back and get my GED. So that's just an example. No matter how bad my life is, no matter how bad the situation is, no matter how disappointing, and no matter even if in my life, if it looks like the light is never going to come at the end of the tunnel, I always find the good in all things. You have to train your mind. You have to stop that chronic thinking, that chronic negative thinking. You have to switch it around. And like I said, it takes one hell of a person, one hell of a disciplined, mentally strong person to do that. Okay. Number 3, I said, allow your experiences to teach you how to handle hardship. Use those tools. So I'm using myself as an example again. So let's say, like, in my life, I experienced, like, this is a common one, rejection, right? Rejection from a lot of things, you guys. I was told no in everything, okay? Even like in my music career, like work career, and I know everybody can probably relate to that. Even like, yeah, like jobs I really wanted, like I was told no. Like I experienced a lot of rejection, right? But what that taught me is going forward, right? Me experiencing the rejection that I had, right? Rejection was a very, very hard one for me to swallow. But me being rejected, now when I'm rejected now in my present life, as an older woman, I'm able to handle it better. And when I come to a situation where I am facing rejection, I'm able to go back in my toolbox because I've been there before. I've been rejected before. So I'm able to go back and go to my toolbox. All right, Michelle, like you were rejected here. You're rejected in this situation. You've been in this situation before. So what you're going to do is take those tools and take the tools that helped you get through that situation and apply it to your situation now. So that's just an example. So different things that I have experienced in my life, I'm able to take those tools and be able to handle tough situations and battles that come up in my life now. So you have to just really tap into those things, even those little things like that, like little things that got you through situations. Grab that tool and apply it to your life now. You know what I mean? Even if you face, like, let's say, for example, like finances. Let's say if somebody's facing finances trouble, right? If you already faced that before, if it resurfaced, you're like, bro, like I'm ready for this. I already been there, done that. I got through it previously and I'm going to get through it now. So just always using your past experiences and taking those tools and everything that you have experienced in your lifetime, always applying those tools, right? Because if you were able to get through it back then, you're most definitely able to get through it now. So always go in that toolbox and pull those tools out and apply it. Okay? I'm hoping that you all can understand that. So then I said, number 4, believe and know that God is always around you at all times. In every situation that you're in, always know that God is real, God is able, and always know that God is right there by your side. Always pray about it, always take it to God. Even if you're in a hard situation, when I have different things that come up in my life that I'm having a difficult time with, I always say, God, thank you. Thank you, God. I know you're here. I know you're by me. I know we're going to get through it, God. It's a situation. It's a burden that's really hard for me to take on. I can't digest it by myself. I can't handle it on my own. I need you. So God is always the very first person that I go to. And then I go into the people that I love and I care about. But God is always the first person that I reach out to. God is always the first person that I consult with. God is always that person. And I know no matter what situation I'm in, I know that God is going to see me through it, right? So always knowing and believing that he's always by you, and always knowing and believing as long as you got him, that you can get through anything. But you have to believe it. All you need is like a little drop of faith. That's it. Once you get a little drop of faith and you start believing in God, and you start really trusting in God and really knowing, like, that's the thing about me, is that God showed up in my life so many times. I know that he's there. I know that he's able. So that's where my faith come in, because the situations that I face, God showed up. So, and I know in those situations that I was in, I felt like he wasn't going to show up, but he did. So I take that faith has built up over time, and I know that he's there. So just knowing that he's always by you in every situation, but not just saying it, actually believing it. Number 5, I said giving up is not an option. Suicide is not an option. Drugs should not be an option. Anything that alcohol should not be an option. You know what I mean? Like none of that stuff should not be an option. Giving up should not be an option. It's not an option, even though it may feel so heavy, right? Prayer, leaning on God, and doing what you can to cope. Okay? I'm not saying that life is easy because it's not. Okay? It's not. But just really being there for yourself, giving yourself that self-care, that self-love, and really just not giving up so easily, man. That's the thing. Like, I'm telling you, I have some things in my life that I face that I'm like, God damn, like situations where I feel like certain situations was going to break me, right? I'm being honest. Certain situations going to break me. But I tell myself all the time, giving up is never an option, bro. Giving up is something that I just don't ever do, you guys. My dad was in a situation where he was paralyzed. Even in that state, even in being in that situation, he still praised God. He never gave up. All the way until his last breath. He never, ever gave up. So me witnessing somebody being in a situation like that and still being able to praise God and still being able to wake up every morning, even though it was super, super hard, I use that as my learning experience. There's no excuse. You see people around here in wheelchairs, people that have cancer, people that are sick, people that can't hear, people that are deaf, right? People that can't see. You know, I know somebody that is blind, but takes the bus everywhere, goes and do paperwork, handle his business, and he's legally blind. He cannot see, right? So when you see different people like that in situations where they're not complaining and they're getting up and giving up is not an option, even though they were not giving a fair shot, even though they were not giving a fair shot at life, you know what I mean? Like people that are deaf or can't see or have one arm, one leg, it really just makes me thank God. Like, because you guys think I'm probably tripping, but I look at my fingers and I thank God that I have all my fingers. I thank God that I have on my toes. I thank God that I'm able to eat, you know what I'm saying? Tasting, it's a little off since that whole COVID thing. My taste habits ain't there and my allergies and everything, but I thank God that I'm able to taste even a little bit of drop of food, okay? And I'm still able to eat. I thank God that I'm able to see, I'm able to hear. I thank God that I'm able to get up with no illness. You know what I mean? When you have people that wake up and they're, suffering with a sickness, with the illness every single day. Imagine waking up and being sick every single day of your life, So it's just when you look and I see people, even people that have disabilities, and they're still able to get up and shoot and try to have a normal life, a normal functioning life, despite of their disability, despite of them having, visual impairment or anything, you guys. If they're not giving up, I'm not giving up. Giving up is not an option. Don't even think about that.